Radio Rahim with Andre S.O.G. Ward, dressed to impress, ringside now. So, ringside, let me get your analysis. We just saw a performance from Lomachenko. It may have left something to be desired, but in the 11th round, he got 2 knockdowns. Do you feel like we were looking at the best Lomachenko tonight, or did he not give his full best performance?
I think he gave his best performance. I just don't think he was as sharp as he typically is. I think it's the difference. Like, he gave his best. He was in tip-top shape. He fought well. But I've had the shoulder thing, and I came back, fought Rodriguez after like 5 months, 6 months, something like that. And, I watched the tape back, and I was like, man, I didn't throw the right hand. And it was kind of like that for him tonight. He didn't really throw it until like the 10th or 11th round. So he's got to get through that. And like 12 months for a shoulder surgery is like the magic number, before you start feeling comfortable throwing it without even thinking about it. But he showed you. He gave you a glimpse in the 11th round of why he is who he is.
Is it a matter of trusting it? Because I asked him before the fight if it was something that he was concerned about. And as you told me, he said, oh, no, it's all good.
That's
training's good.
Telling himself, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever he did in training camp, he's been telling himself the same thing. He's supposed to do that. He has to. But physically, it takes about 12 months to get right.
The challenges for him at 135, even though this was not an easy fight, seem to be thin. He told me that the Pacquiao fight, which is highly wanted by a lot of fans, and myself included,
Him and Pacquiao.
Oh, wait. At 40, it has to be a 40. I don't think he can go 47. I don't think Pacquiao can go 35. So
Pacquiao make 40.
Yeah, I think
he
so.
He can make it, but when's the last time he was 140?
Yeah.
Ricky hadn't?
Maybe.
A long time.
But that's not the reason the fight's not getting made, at least according to Lomachenko. He's saying Pacquiao's too old, Pacquiao's past it. He doesn't want to make his name, Lomachenko, on an old, basically has-been fighter.
Really?
Yeah, those were his comments. And I'm curious, what is your...
He didn't want to disrespect the legend.
Hey, guess what? I'm doing an interview here. Give me 1 second. So I'm curious your thoughts on that mentality. Like, hey, I don't want to beat a guy who's on his way out. He called him a legend, but an old legend who's past it.
If he said that, and I didn't hear him say that, but if he said that, I respect it. That may not be my take on it. Well, actually, it would be my take, because I've always had a lot of respect for the legends that went before me. I wasn't a guy that was trying to fight the legend on the way out. That wasn't me. So I paid homage to those guys, and I had a lot of respect for them. When a lot of guys would do the opposite. When they see Pacquiao, they see a payday. And Lomo's like, no, I'm going to get it another kind of way, so I respect it.
Now, Pacquiao would argue that he's on his way out. In fact, he's looking at a fight just coming up and a possible rematch with Mayweather, which is, of course, the rumor. Do you feel like, if you were managing him, are those 2 fights you put in front of him, and does the rematch with Mayweather, if it were to happen, turn out any different?
The first question, yeah, I would match him against Broner, and if depending on what happens, if he wins, I would match him against Mayweather. Those are the biggest money fights for him. As far as what he has left, I don't know. We got to see. He turned back the clock a little bit in his last fight. Pacquiao did. We got to see. When you get that age, man, yeah, one night can do it. All of a sudden, you look a lot different. You look a lot slower. You're getting hit with stuff you typically wouldn't get hit with. But we have to see. We just got to wait and let the fight with Broner play out.
And wrapping up, you're a guy who's moved weight divisions to meet challenges. With the Kovalev fight, a lot of people said Kovalev was too heavy for you. Maybe that wasn't a wise decision. Now we see Mikey Garcia stepping up, facing Errol Spence. The conversation is much the same. Do you feel like that's a wise decision for Mikey? And whether or not he even can win the fight, is it a smart fight to take?
Man, I think, is it smart? I don't know. We're going to find out. Would I tell my guy to go up and fight a guy like Errol Spence if he was Mikey Garcia? Probably not. I think the weight is just too much. It's too abrupt. And I think what Mikey's probably going to do is try to, put on a bunch of weight and mass, and that's the worst thing he could do, because he's going to weigh himself down. Mikey's not the fastest guy as is, so you're going to put another 8 pounds or whatever it is of muscle on and slow down even what you got right now. But this is boxing, man. This is boxing, and I would love to see him prove me wrong, and I don't say that sarcastically. Like, I would love to sit and watch him beat Errol Spence and shock the world, from a standpoint of just like from a fan standpoint. But I'm not, I see Errol walking him down. I don't see Mikey having anything to keep Errol off of him, and that's going to be the difference. You have a great little man and a great big man, and typically the great big man always wins.
Now, when a guy goes out on top, retires on his own terms, as you did, the questions never stop until he's in a walker, if whether or not he'll climb back through the ring, right? You see the money that's getting made over there overseas. You see Usyk stepping up, maybe to heavyweight, could possibly stay at cruiserweight. Is there anything inside you that makes you feel like you one more time, maybe one big payday, a payday I couldn't get maybe in the height of my career I could get now by beating a guy and shocking the world?
I don't even think it's really about the payday. I mean, it's prize fighting, so, you know, if I ever fought again, I would want the biggest prize, but because I feel like I earned it. But it's just more you miss it. You know, I have the what if conversation with myself often, you know, but that's the battle you go through in retirement. And sometimes, you know, your original choice wins, which is rare, and oftentimes guys, they compromise and go back for whatever reason. But my thing isn't money, man. It would just be a legacy play, and the money would probably be second, but I don't see it, man. It's going to have to be a lot to bring me back. Of course, I'm going to keep getting asked the same question because they're not, you know, the boxing world and the world at large are not, you know, they're not used to seeing fighters walk away on top. You know, it's almost like on one hand they want to see that, but the low-hanging fruit is to come back and just fight until you can't fight anymore, and that's not going to be my testimony.
And lastly, Andre, before this fight's kicked off, we had a press conference for Kovalev and Alvarez. Obviously, Kovalev recently knocked out by Alvarez. The rematch is set. But when a guy like the Crusher, who has that kind of reputation, gets beat twice in a row, knocked out the second time, a lot of times it'll be over for him. Like, he can't dominate anymore. People were surprised that Alvarez was able to knock him out. Do you feel like Kovalev has a comeback in him? Can he dominate at light heavyweight again, or did he get exposed in a way that he can't return from?
Anything is possible. You know, I don't know where he is in his headspace. I don't know what his body feels like. I do see things that concern me if I'm in Camp Kovalev. You know, I think he put something out on social media like, you know, I'm going to give it one more shot, and if I don't do it, I'm going to retire. That's not good, because to me that spells 1 foot in and 1 foot out. I saw him at the press conference today. It may not mean everything, but I saw the face-off, and I saw Kovalev break first and made a joke to Alvarez. That's not the Crusher we're used to seeing, and I don't know if Kovalev has been the Crusher for you know, I don't know when the last time we've seen like vintage Crusher, probably pre-Andre Ward. So it's going to be tough. It's a tough ask because Alvarez has all the momentum, and that aura is lifted. Again, once the aura is lifted off of a puncher, they got to go in their bag and figure out another kind of way. Does he have anything else in the bag? That's the question.
Well, I think you got plenty left in the bag, but keep it in the bag. I like the suit. I like you on this side of the camera, man. Radio Rahim with SOG, Andre Ward.